Wait, did I start the recording? I did. Okay. It's one of those days.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those weeks. Fucking work. So who would like to remind us what happened last half of Arc?
Things happen.
We left Astoria to go to Fire and Amelis's village. On our way there, we found two knuckleheads, who are totally not from the Road del Dorado. Who we decided, it's like, these guys are bumbling idiots. They're gonna die if we don't get them someplace safe. They didn't die. They did, however, swindle, cheat, almost get themselves squished by cyclopses, found an ancient tomb, and got possessed by a ghost that wanted out, and we let the ghost out, and that's totally not going to come back and bite us in the ass ever.
Well, just don't go there ever again.
Yeah. And then we ended up going, eventually, to Fire and Amelis's village, where things were tense. And we talked to the tree. And Amelis talked to their parents. And the tree said, hey, it's out there, but it might not, we don't know where yet. Cool, go do stuff again. Come back later.
It was a cathartic experience and healthy sport mind. Not very productive trip, though.
Costa, oh yeah, of course, Fire, sorry.
Hello everybody, welcome back to another...
Also, kind of got some, I want to say, some catharsis for their trauma of dying.
A little bit, yeah.
A little bit.
A little bit. And then we kind of left at the end. I think that's everything.
We are pointing direction to Blackcaster.
Yeah, I think the last idea was we head back to Astoria, possibly pick up some armor that's getting shipped there, and then Blackcaster.
Then let's start with, what do you guys do on the way back? Your journey is going to be about 11 days. Do it, Costa.
Oh,
Do it. No, if you have something, do it.
sometimes not doing it is more funny.
Damn it.
If it's 11 days, Jamie,
Yeah.
I have no idea how much time they said my armor will be ready and how much time will be left.
They said it was about a month, and it's been about 28 days by the time we get back there. So it could be there.
I
So I should have gone back and checked the recordings, and I didn't because I'm lazy. Did you ask them to send the armor to Astoria when it was done?
I remember this, and yes, we did.
To Astoria or to Blackcaster?
To Astoria.
Did we?
Yes, because we didn't know if we were going to go to your village first or Blackcaster first, and Astoria was smack dab in the middle of them.
I believe there was a step of extra conversation about, can you send it to this house in the middle of the forest? And they were like, what? And then the goal changed to one of the two cities, yes.
I have bad memory, so I only remember the goof. I trust you on the other part.
Yeah, no, I distinctly remember because we didn't know where to go. We wouldn't know where to go in Blackcaster to get it. We know Astoria. We know people in Astoria. That just makes sense.
Okay, so the armor may or may not be there in Astoria waiting for you. Outside of stopping in Astoria, I don't have any plans for your trip back. But just you tell me what your characters are doing on that trip.
I think
Think-
Connell's... Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I think Fire is just crying for the half birthday. Just remember it's Robbie.
I think
Oh,
Shrubby.
sorry. Go ahead.
I think Pert's making a point of bothering both Kamel and Rizwin at least once a day to do an hour or two of sparring and stuff.
Connell's kind of begrudgingly doing it. He's still not happy with what you were saying about chomping back to the Underdark alone to avenge people.
And if neither of them are available / in the mood at the time, he'll go back to the basic things that Rizwin started him on, with things like falling properly.
Mm-hmm.
In his free time during watches every night, though, he is herbing.
Okay. Roll me is this a nature or survival check? I can't remember.
I want to say you gave me the choice, and I have
Okay.
a 1 higher in nature, so I've been using nature mostly.
Okay, make a nature check.
Nice.
Starting good.
Oh, damn.
Mm.
Nice. How'd you roll a 69?
Rogues, man. Rogues are bullshit.
I have a
Um,
lot of bonuses.
Along the way, you do find a couple of plants that you're pretty sure you could turn into decent poisons. It's gonna take some time, as they are, you could, eat them and be really sick.
But fermenting them properly or something to bring it into an actual usable poison will take some time and effort.
Yeah, to get
Not
it
a
to
problem.
where you want, what you would like is gonna take some preparation.
I'm assuming we'll say that I can say, Chamie, I'd like to change these plants into an oil, versus Chamie, I'd like to change these plants into a poison that I can add to food. I shouldn't have said oil for the first one. A weapon oil versus a food oil. There we go.
Yeah.
So I'll decide that at a later date. And
Okay.
I'll just note that later when we talk about it.
Okay. Ty, I know you had something.
Yes. Zoe is beyond looking worried, is going around. She's trying to make another purple wand, and she is also going around and trying to make everyone look as good as possible, which includes trying to give Bath to Fire.
Good luck with that.
We're going to Astoria first. You're that, I'm just making sure you're that worried.
I thought this was the whole trip.
Also,
Yeah.
it informs of how worried she is if before Astoria is starting to worry.
Is this trip between there and Astoria, or the whole trip?
Astoria is in the middle.
So
11 days
what I
from
described was the whole trip.
to Blackcaster is what I'm getting. I just want to make sure I'm getting the times right.
So it's going to be about 7 days to Astoria, and then 4 more to get to Blackcaster.
Okay, cool. I just wanted to make sure time scale was right.
Yep.
Astoria is the smaller city and Blackcaster is the larger city, or do I have that backwards?
Astoria is the smaller city. Blackcaster is the place we have not yet been.
Okay.
City.
Astoria is the place where we got the quest of finding Pert's mentor. Where more or less we started, more or less.
Mhm.
I mean, more or less that area.
As far as the wand goes, Zoe has enough materials to make that.
Yeah, and that's not even going into her. She has some
Into your
higher
crystals.
grades.
Yeah. Just make me an Arcana check. Scratch that. Make me 3 Arcana checks. Just to see how well you do.
One moment.
Mhm.
I have guidance. Can I use that?
I would say that you can use guidance on the first one. This is kind of like to represent how well she does over a long stretch of time, and guidance is more for like one particular action. But I'll let you use it on one of the rolls. To sort of represent like a particularly difficult thing that Zoe has to overcome.
Sorry, Pert's busy getting his jaw broken, or he'd help.
And after that awful one, she'd use guidance.
Mm-hmm. Okay. You have a. Mhm.
Sorry, that's not how guidance works.
No, it's before, so
21.
21. You now have. Let me just look up this item again. Wait. Is it still in my bullshit somewhere? It's not in there. I have too much stuff in here.
It's a wand that has 7 charges of vegetation that only does purple.
Yes. So this one has. I would say that this one has 6 charges instead of 7. That's the only difference.
Okay.
I'm sure I didn't delete it. I'm sure it's in here somewhere. God damn it. I delete it? Whatever. I'll figure it out later.
So fire, what would it take to get Zoe to talk you into having a bath?
I think Fire would say, "No, yeah, sure, anything for you." And then when realize that what involves that, you sure you need that?
Yes.
Why though?
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
It'll be fine. Just get nice and clean. And look, it even smells nice.
Yeah, but I need my oils and my fungus. I've been saving this scratch of thing in my arm to figure out what it is, and it would wash off.
I got oils for you.
pulls out lavender.
Yes.
I think give me persuasion. And I assume this is like in Historia, so give me a proper bath in a bathtub.
Yep.
With a boar bristle brush in all the sensitive areas.
By yourself, or do you expect me doing it, or you're hiring someone?
No,
First and last.
I am not giving Fire a bath.
She wouldn't trust you to do a good enough job.
If you want it clean, you need to hire someone. or someone's. Okay, for you I'll do it. Sigh.
How much did that cost me, Jamie?
To hire someone to help clean fire up, maybe like a silver.
Like a professional groomer.
Yeah, and groom hair. And I don't know
Yeah,
if you want.
I guess it depends on how fancy you want to go. If you want
Yeah,
like the whole 9 yards.
Do you want
It's
someone
the
to
whole
braid?
9 yards.
Do you want someone to braid like vines into Fire's hair and?
I don't know. Have a decent pair of clothes.
Yeah, like
Um,
yeah.
Let me see. I think like the nice clothes are probably about 5 to 10 gold. Just looking in the book here.
Full on. Is it in the Beauty and the Beast when they do a makeup?
Yeah, I think so.
Camille, your armor is always gleaming, right?
Yes. Also, I bathe regularly. Thank you very much.
Yes, but hi, this is Zoe in slight panic mode.
I think Pert is very supportive and helpful, but he is also a pack rat. He still has the hellhound jar on his hip, after all.
Fine clothes are 15 gold.
Reese when smell.
Everybody smells.
The Reese needs the same treatment as Fire.
No, because I'm pretty sure Zoe could go to Rizwin and be like, well, you know what? It would be private, and I could be mistaken, but I think Rizwin would understand. Would she?
Rizwin is off doing a thing when we're in Astoria.
Yeah, 5 gold is 15 GP, yes.
So, yeah. Good clothes for Fire are going to be between 5 and 15, depending on how nice you want to look. We'll say, like, personal grooming is a gold.
16 gold, got it.
What about everybody else?
Is the worst.
I remember when we were back in Marialva, I did send a letter off and asked replies to be sent to most of the embassies. I'll check the Gargamon embassy, see if there's anything, but I doubt there is.
Okay. I'm pretty sure you told them to send anything to Blackcaster.
Okay, it might have been to Blackcaster then. I was going to check Blackcaster when I got there anyway, so.
Sure. If you check the Astoria embassy, there's nothing, but
The first thing Rizwan would like to do is make sure that her armor is in good shape. So bang out any dents, make it all nice and shiny, etc., etc. And then she would like to either purchase or commission a set of, I don't know, like battle dress, if that makes sense. Like not dress like a dress, but like a uniform that is both functional but also fancy.
right. So fine clothes, but for somebody who actually has to fight.
Yes, like
Okay.
like an honor guard would wear that kind of thing.
Parade dress?
Yes,
Yeah.
parade dress. Thank you. Including like boots that you can see yourself in.
Sure. I think that's going to be a little more expensive just because it's a little rarer.
Yeah,
There's not a lot
understand
of
so.
mercenary types that would be looking for something like that. And if you were in the military here, the military would provide it for you.
Yeah, and I'm also specifically, it's not cut or styled in such a way as to evoke either Blackcaster or Astoria's military.
Right.
No more personalized?
It just, I'm not trying to look like I'm belonging to one, you know, they might frown on that at the gates a little bit.
Yeah, you can find something like that for about 25 GP.
Okay, 25 GP it is. And then either that night or the following night, Rizwan would like to spend the night at the Temple of Shar.
Okay. How many days are you spending in Astoria?
What I'm hearing is a couple.
I think
Yeah, it definitely sounds like there's a couple.
I think with everyone else getting clothing, Pert will get a fine set of clothes just to replace his current traveling clothes because they're getting a little older.
Yeah.
So he drops the full 2 platinum for the 15 gold set of clothing. He's
Okay.
tall. It's hard to customize.
Yeah, there's not a lot of Vidalkins here.
A question, just for my memory. Has Zoe explained to everybody why the need for getting all fancy is there?
Nope.
I think some of us are perceptive and
Insightful enough.
self-aware enough to understand that she's going home.
Yeah. Yeah.
Actually, that's not true. She did say she was going home.
Well, yes, but Rizwan knows what home entails for Zoe.
Mhm.
Does anybody else?
Nope.
Not a clue.
Not a clue.
Actually, no.
But
Camille has an inkling because of the letter.
I just passed through something similar. Family is stressful. I get it. Jamie,
Mhm.
once I get freed of all the grooming, I want to buy a new hide armor.
Okay. I
Yep.
thought you were gonna say you want to go roll around in the dirt.
No. It's like she's putting effort. She's worried. I'm a friend. I'm gonna suck it up and buy a new hide armor instead of the rags I'm using.
Okay.
Well, I guess now that we're at Astoria, this would be the time to ask, does he need to buy new hide armor?
Yeah, good point.
Or does Chloe have a package for us?
Should Chloe have a package for you? Oh, right.
That's where we would have had it sent, I assume.
Right. Quasta, please roll me a D100. You go to visit Chloe Blana, and she informs you that just this morning, a package arrived for you.
I think Fire is like, yes, and he's screaming in the face of some random person around him. Yes.
They just like start walking away to the other side of the street from you.
Gimme. Grab your hands.
She gives you the package. It's all wrapped up very nicely.
Does she look like she took a peek inside?
She did not.
Okay. While assuming Fire opens the package in her presence, Rizwan is curious to see what her reaction is.
Uh-huh.
I assume Fire will wait, guys, check, it's here. Like having a present moment.
I have a question.
Mhm.
Has Fire realized that this is
Made out of his friend?
Yeah.
Fire thought it was shedding and thought it was awesome. And of Rizwan. And Rizwan said, no, it's not that gross. And Fire was like, aw.
Okay, I couldn't remember that part. Thank you.
No, Cathanin, very specifically nothing like that.
What?
Because he was thinking military uniforms and I was thinking Renaissance. I linked in an image of the Swiss Guard.
Rizwan is not wearing fancy fucking pajamas.
Sorry.
So you open the package.
Yes.
You tear open the paper of the package, and underneath is like it's wrapped in cloth, and you unwrap that, and inside is a set of scale mail, but it is made out of red dragon scales.
Yay! I smell it.
It smells like a blacksmither.
It smells like leather and coal and oil.
Yeah. It smells like oil.
I thought it would have a more familiar smell. Anyway, thank you. And I go and hug Rizwin.
Brisbane, you see Chloe giving you a look like, what?
I just grin and pat, pat, pat for Fire.
Yay.
I don't actually have this item in the game yet. Let me see if I can import it.
You're just using the
The
default
5e
one.
tools.
See, the great thing about that is assuming that
Here it is. Red Dragon Scale Mail.
Rizwin is still alive for the rest of the campaign. The extra ability on it is completely useless for you.
Wow,
Let's
yeah.
see.
To be fair, it's useful if you lose track of Rizwin.
Yeah, that's true. Fire will always know where Rizwan is.
Hoisted by your own Picard.
Or the really scary situation is Fire tries to track Rizwin with it and ends up at somebody else.
No.
Oh no.
The only way for Rizwan to escape.
Ooh. Nice.
So wait, you have advantage on saving throw against the present threat. So that's not just red dragon breath weapons, it's all dragon breath weapons.
Oh, Dragon Breath
Yes.
weapon.
And you have resistance to fire damage.
I have resistance to myself.
Yeah,
Eat it.
isn't all damage he suffers fire damage?
Oh no.
I'm invincible.
Make sure that you. Sorry, go ahead, Mist.
It's only resistance. It's not immunity.
Yeah.
Make sure that you have 15 plus dex, because even though it says 14 plus dex, by default, scale mail is 14.
Yes.
Yeah.
I will do that.
Also,
Fire's
you.
gonna look very fancy now.
I
Yeah.
imagine like he's got like the stylist saw the armor and went, oh, black satin, black, white ruffles.
I feel ready to battle.
Also, do you still have the top hat?
I do. And I pull out from a random sack a very crinkled top hat.
No, you pull it out and then it's like no, and it just gets swapped.
Oh, my top hat. Well, what's yours originally?
I think Fire would have a beret now at this point, given it was in his pack.
Thank you. So is this an item that I can pull out from Roll20?
It should be. Jamie should be able to add it to your character sheet. It's in your character sheet now, or your drop down.
Yeah, but I can.
If you
Right.
use the I tab,
From
you should be able
the-
to find it.
From the SRD.
I pulled it out from I imported it from Better Roll20 tools. I don't know if it's in the items in Roll20 or not.
It is not. I just checked.
Okay.
There is a dragon scale mail.
Yep, you'll just have to change its name to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can do that.
I typed in red dragon scale mail. That's probably why.
Jamie,
Mm-hmm.
I tried to sell my old hide armor.
I think you get like 2 gold for it.
I take it.
Hey,
It's more than I hoped for.
Yeah.
Fire actually has a decent AC now.
What is Fire's AC now?
It's at least 14.
At least 15.
15.
Dragon's Scale has an AC of 14.
Yes, but this is
+1
plus
'cause
one.
it's magic.
Oh, right.
That's what David was saying 3 minutes ago.
Sorry, I am deep on that.
It's Anyway.
There is a note included in the package that just says, I hope you find this armor useful. It was one of the most challenging things I have ever had to do, and I feel very blessed to have gotten to work on it.
No.
So Fire finally has his armor. A solid year after this plan was hatched.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Is there a return address?
I'm sure that there is a return to sender on there with something this expensive.
Okay.
Return to sender.
If there's time, or at some time in the future, I think Rizwan would just send a scale back with a note, just like a token of appreciation.
Okay.
Just let them chew on that and see what they think.
Uh-huh. Okay.
That's a pretty good tip you just gave him. On a side note, did you get this one yourself, or did you drag Zoe into it again?
I will say this one was just a 1, not like it happened naturally, we'll say.
Zoe still feels bad about that, even though it was your idea.
Gotta do what you gotta do.
I try also to buy dusted diamonds.
Okay. Make me an investigation check to try and find some within the city. And are you looking for whole diamonds or diamond dust?
Diamond dust or diamond poor quality that they don't mind dusting it for me.
Right. Okay.
And if I find, but with that number, no.
You find a little bit, but it's only like 10 GP worth.
10 GPs, not a lot.
Yeah.
It's... Wait. It's 0.1% of what I need. I mean, it's something. I take it.
Okay.
This has reminded me. Rizwan takes her schematic for lack of a better term, headlamp that she thought up to a blacksmith and sees if that's something they think they can handle.
Are you just asking them to make like the headpiece?
Yeah, so basically it's like a square box that has either something melted and poured in it, or it's just buffed really well so it's shiny. And it's got a hole at the front and a little door that you can close.
Okay.
And the idea is you take a pebble that light has been cast on, put it in there, and you can use it to see for gem cutting around a campfire.
Right. Do Ty, Cathana, and David remember Ty's game?
Sure do. The little locket that your rogue had?
There was no locket. It just went in her
Cleavage, yes.
cleavage.
I was, yeah.
Oh my.
Didn't you
Yep.
have something that you could open and close on that, though?
I mean, you could just push it farther down in.
Look, from what I know from all of my femme friends, is bras are great for storing stuff in.
And from everything I've seen is don't take money from anybody who pulls it from the bra.
Ew.
It's a thing.
I know, I work it in retail.
If they ever get rid of the sanitizer at the tills at work, I will just bring my own fucking bottle.
But yeah, a long time ago, I saw an idea of how to make a flashlight, which is you take a map tube, which pretty much every adventurer has, and you put the light rock in it.
Hey Ty, do you want Colin to get a helmet like that?
What were we talking about again?
Headlamp.
Headlamp. Yes. Yeah, given that you're in town for at least a day, I think you can find somebody to make that for you.
Excellent. Now I can actually start working on my gems at night.
Don't you have dark vision?
Yes, but
yeah.
it's you can see in darkness as though or dim light. It's still kind of hard to work in that environment.
Especially with gems where like a big component of it is how the gem reflects the light.
Fair enough.
We'll say 2 GP. It's not a difficult thing, but it is a custom piece.
She leaves a 6 gold tip.
Holy shit. The blacksmith makes sure to ask if there's anything else you need, anything at all.
I assume this is probably the same blacksmith that also repaired her armor as well. So
Yeah,
we'll say that was also part of it.
that's fair.
Pert casually puts 2 daggers on the anvil. I could use these sharpened.
I mean, do blacksmiths do that sort of thing?
Yes.
Okay, then yeah.
I mean, the one was destroyed by the ooze, so it might not even be sharpenable.
Yeah, it probably breaks during the sharpening.
He tosses the blacksmith a platinum for everything, and I should check how much a dagger costs, actually.
Not that much.
You've just paid this man's wages for a year.
Yes.
Yeah.
Adventurers are the very definition of the whales.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a story of somebody on a pilgrimage, like ancient Rome times, and completely destroyed the value of gold by how much he left behind everywhere he went.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's a thing.
Oops.
2 GP.
It could be causing massive inflation.
So Pert keeps the dagger that Zoe gave him, but he also has the new dagger and his 1 sharpened dagger.
Okay.
Did you see the thing I posted about boomerangs the other day?
Yes.
Yes.
Not saying this is a Pert thing, but would you allow boomerangs in a future occurrence?
I don't think boomerangs are a thing in Sheras, but if you go abroad...
We need to get to literal Australia.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember what boomerangs did.
It came back to you.
They come back on a miss. They have a 60 range, 6120 range.
Speaking of getting fancy, Kamil just buys some new surcoat stuff for his armor, so something looks like that minus the helmet. So probably fancy clothes value.
Yeah, probably about the same as Rizwin's.
20?
25.
Okay, and it's very much in silver and gold, silver,
Yeah.
blue, and those are his colors.
So while Zoe's pushing everybody else to get all fancy, she goes and finds a cloak to hide under.
Mm-hmm.
So like over the head, barely can see under it.
Yeah. Depending on how nice a quality you want, it's like either, 6 or 7 silver to 3 gold.
Probably 2 gold.
Okay.
I figure since we're in a story, it's free for us to change platinum pieces into silver and whatnot at the bank.
Yes, up to a point.
It'd be like 100 getting back. Like I was at 100 GP and down to 10 at this point. I want to just convert like 10 platinum pieces into 100.
Oh yeah, that's totally fine. If you were converting like 1,000 platinum, then they might have an issue, but...
I'm going to do
Wondering
2
why I was-
platinum into 20 gold. Sorry, Ty.
I was wondering why I was broke. I forgot I had all that platinum.
Oh yeah, we owe for the scale armor.
Oh, you only paid half, didn't you?
Yeah, we owe 3,500 gold.
I assume you left them with like a promissory note from the bank. So
Yeah, we could. In fact, that would make sense to return with the quote unquote tip or promissory note for the additional.
Right.
They can just take it from the 5,000 or whatever we have in the bank.
more than 5,000.
Yeah, whatever it is.
Like we
515.
might have like 5,000 platinum or something. Yeah, who's keeping track of that too?
We haven't touched it. We have 23,568 gold.
I assume Cathanid is the one tracking it.
We have not touched it since we left Muriel.
Sweet.
Okay,
So, yes.
fire now AC is 18.
You have more AC than I do.
How?
Hmm?
The max you can get with that is 17.
I get 16 and I have a shield.
Ah. I was not counting the shield.
All right. So we've done pripping and preening.
I think so.
Zoe attempts to put a bow on the kitty.
I assume the kitty has none of it.
Me.
Would that be an animal handling mist? Or does she not get anywhere near it?
Depends. Do you have a bribe of food?
Yes, fish.
Well, probably still be animal handling, but maybe at advantage because you have food.
That's a good idea.
I was gonna say I pressed the button.
Is 15 enough, Mist?
Probably, though it might not last very long.
Where does the ribbon go?
We'll never know.
No, I meant like where does Zoe attach the ribbon? Like on a tentacle or around the neck or what?
Or maybe it's like a little pin that grabs on the hair so you can have it around the ears.
Well, at first she tried to put like a little towel pad on. That one failed, and then the one went around her neck, around his neck.
Where's that gif of the person putting the Christmas bow on the cat's head? No, that wasn't what I was thinking of, but that's also very good.
This cat clearly likes it.
So it's on there for now. Ooh, how dapper. Anyways. Do you have any other errands that you want to run before continuing your journey?
Other than spending the night at the Temple of Shar, no.
Alright.
Taking all the horses to the vet.
Not the Temple of Shar, you mean Temple of Selene?
Not in the Temple of Shar.
Oh, out in the, yeah.
Does she run into anybody there?
No.
Then she leaves a letter on a place that would be noticed.
Okay.
I will get you the contents of that later.
Okay.
Or more accurately, I will intend to get you the contents of that later, and I will probably forget.
That's okay. Alright. If that is everything, then after a couple of days of shopping and excitement, you continue on from Astoria.
I tried to do my best to not get dirty.
I mean, a little bit of dirt happens. That's how traveling on the road goes, but
Rizwin just keeps her new clothes neatly folded away until we're actually there.
Oh yeah.
And I think until she takes the temperature of everything, she's probably going to actually put Remember away before entering the city.
mm-hmm.
Like the grave or the hobble?
Just the there's no place to hide this glaive. It's taller than she is.
Zoe will get the item that Rosamund is storing for her back out of her hoard.
Yes.
I mean, how many people can say they have a dragon guarding their items?
Mm-hmm.
We travel along.
Yeah. And after a couple of days, past Astoria, you come out of the forest, looking upon a grassy plain. This is a familiar spot to you. This is where the road diverges. North goes to Marielda, and east to the ocean and to Blackcaster.
Oh yeah, we getting to see the ocean?
It's a port city, so yes.
Cool.
It's a good thing Zoe doesn't sleep anymore.
Yeah.
She would not be sleeping.
Yeah. I think everybody notices as time goes on, Zoe's getting more and more nervous.
Yes. Fire tried to do the best to try to ease on whatever he can, like making the food he knows she likes and don't goof to her too much and so on and so forth.
What does Fire do when Zoe stops eating?
You need to eat.
I had some.
Have a mushroom.
No.
Have one mushroom and I will not bother you the rest of the day with food.
Fine. So he eats the good shroom. You know, I heard other people get berries.
Berries? What weird... Why would you do that? Pfft, berries.
Oh, it was a story Vanya told me.
The next day, Fire tried to find the berries in the wild.
Oh, make a survival check.
Can I argue that Fire asked Pert, since Pert's been doing so much herbing?
Sure, but I already rolled very good.
Yeah,
You
so
did.
like
Yeah.
give Fire advantage maybe.
Sure. See if you get that 20.
Fire comes back with all the berries.
Yeah, Fire comes back the next morning with a handful, like a little basket full of wild, like, raspberries.
There you go. Berries!
I think Zoe might break down crying and just hug Fire for a bit.
Oh. Why? But, Fire start crying again. Also doesn't know why.
How much berry juice did Fire get on himself?
I think there's some.
He's very covered in berries.
While crying, prestidigitation.
Cry casting.
I mean, you got to get out the tear stains too. So
I shouldn't. It's nothing.
That's okay.
When we stop crying. Zoe? Why are you so stressed? I mean, I know, but I don't know.
It's been a while. It'll be fine. Don't worry about it.
Are you sure?
Yeah, it's fine. Don't worry about
If you need anything, let us know. Like anything. A hug. You need someone to be stabbed. You need someone to not be stabbed. You need fruit.
I think Rizwin might like clear her throat and give Zoe a meaningful look.
it. Zoe is oblivious.
Maybe later on, Rizwin will recount the story of how Chloe reacted to her and the advice that Chloe gave her about maybe tell someone what you're doing before you do it instead of surprising them with a big thing. All while shooting meaningful looks at Zoe.
While I agree, while Zoe should do this, it's less fun.
Yeah,
Okay.
me Quasta knows it would be the better. Fire will not press the issue. If you want to talk, you talk. You don't need to.
And while Zoe's probably self-aware enough to do that, I don't think it's much fun.
Kamo just knows Zoe was probably kidnapped, and this is the first time she's gone home since then, and is keeping his mouth shut.
Yeah, I mean, Rizvin just rolled a bad persuasion check, that's all.
Mm-hmm. All right. The road is still pretty quiet for a couple of days. By the third day, the road gets a little busier. You see thin trails branching off the main road, and sometimes you see small clusters of houses at the ends of them, mostly hidden by all the wheat fields that surround. On the morning of the fourth day, you see tall buildings on the horizon. You're almost there.
Zoe is cloaked up.
Smell the air smells weird. Yeah. Meh.
It does.
What's the salt?
No, it smells like ammonia.
What is smell? No,
as you get closer, like
Are
the
we near
buildings start to get. Yeah, you would know that smell is the smell of tanneries. Your eyes start to sting.
Right.
So this is a smell that was here before.
Presumably.
Okay.
How many people have actually been to Blackcaster aside from probably Zoe and Camille's probably been inside the city?
I have.
Yeah, this is like one of those things where it depends on the way the wind's going.
So, serious question here.
Mhm.
Would that have an effect on Zoe? Like, I'm trying, like, tieflings do.
Ammonia is okay. This is going to be a bit bleh, but have you ever smelled stale urea before? It's
Urea, yes. Urea has no smell.
No, stale urea. Stuff that's started to break down into ammonia. It's absolutely vile.
I've smelled ammonia before, but I mean, sulfa's off, so vile, and tieflings are supposed to do just fine with that.
I mean, I've gotten pretty used to the smell of sulfur. Thanks, Fork.
I guess Ty really would depend on what you feel Zoe would feel, because if she hasn't been exposed to that kind of stuff, it would be a new and uncomfortable smell, but if she's been used to it for half her life, then it's just smell of home.
She's not used to that.
Yeah, the wind doesn't normally, like, there's a reason the tanneries are on this side of town. Anybody who's lived in a city, like, it's vile, but it sucks. Like, it sucks, but it's, not an unfamiliar smell.
There are two places in the city that are going to smell like ass: a tannery district and the docks.
Yeah.
Oh, you forgot the paper mill.
Mm-hmm. There's a few places. But Fire and Amalus, I don't think, have ever been to those districts in a city before.
Nope. No
it
ducks.
Sucks.
No tannery. No sea.
I think Pert's from a city with a population of 1 million, so bad smells are just life.
Yeah. Malice just, like, starts trying to back up the road.
Is the ribbon gone by now?
I think at that exact moment, Alice probably coughs up the.
No.
Airball.
Well,
I hate to say it, but that's not usually how cat eats something. It usually doesn't come out in a hairball.
Nope. I had a cat eat a bowl of yarn. It does not come out in a hairball.
Yeah, this place stinks. It's not great.
is everything okay? This is a normal smell?
This is the smell of what large-scale leather production is like, Fire.
I hate it.
It's worse if you know where it comes from.
You pass by a couple of men carrying spears and wearing chainmail, bearing the symbol of a sun rising over a wheat field on their tabards. Zoe and Rosamund would recognize these as the guards of the city, wearing the symbol of Lathander.
I reflexively flinch and look around for a flying paladin.
They just give you a nod as they pass.
Ty, how... Like, is Zoe full hood all the way up, can't see her face, blah, blah, blah?
Correct.
Okay. I will not adopt a parade guard position then.
Alright. Make me a stealth check, Zoe. With advantage.
I assume the day we know we're entering the city, like in the morning of that day, Fire will ask, like, so we put our nicest clothes now?
Yes.
We would tell you that morning to get dressed.
Okay.
Okay.
Should that be an advantage?
Yes, because Zoe's companions are very visually loud.
Also,
And Zoe is small.
also
Yes.
very intimidating.
Yes.
What is
Speaking
that? Who is this?
Speaking of, what's the relationship between Blackcaster and Darkman? Is it cordial, trading partners, frenemies?
It's relatively cordial. There are a lot of similarities between the cities. Blackcaster is is a little more old school.
Mhm.
They take a lot of pride in being conservative and like
And Karkamon's a lot.
they're all about the nobility. And Karkamon's maybe a little like Karkamon's still got nobility and tradition and stuff like that, but they're maybe a little less.
A little more egalitarian.
Yeah, they're a little less loud about it.
Okay.
Hello.
Hello. They do not say that.
No, I cut up. Sorry. I don't know what happened.
I was just asking about the relationship between Kamel's city, country, and Blackcaster.
And they're like pretty. There's a lot of trade going back and forth.
Mhm.
And yes, Zoe disappearing into the crowd makes sense because we've got such a varied and large party.
Yes. Large in the vertical sense.
And just size as well, because we've got 6 people plus a giant panther cat with tentacles, and one guy's dressed in bright red. And
Yeah. Continuing through, you keep on that main road, and you start to notice, whereas Marielda was like, there was a wall, and then the city started. The city kind of builds up a little more gradually as you go along. The buildings here that you're passing are kind of run down. This place is muddy. It smells. You hear the loud metal clinking of a blacksmith's hammer, a sheep going bleh, and very quickly the streets start to become packed with people. The sides of the streets start to become packed with buildings.
I answered to the goat.
The streets themselves are a bit muddy. It must have rained recently. The buildings look like they were a pale-colored stone at one point, but have been stained with the muck of the place over time.
All seems like what Zoe remembers.
Yeah. And as you continue on and pass people, you get people sort of looking back at you as you go by. The colors of the dresses here are much more neutral colors, earthen colors, and your group is very bright. You get lots of heads sort of turning and watching you as you walk by. And then a point comes where your feet hit cobblestone. And it's like you're in a different city altogether. The streets are still crowded, but the look of the people has changed. There's poofy dresses, long coats and pants. There's the click-clack of expensive shoes on stone. The smell has improved dramatically. And the buildings, right next to each other, with hardly any room to see between them, reach high above you. And many bear the same symbol that you saw on the guards. far off somewhere between all the chatter and some seagulls up ahead, you think you can hear the ocean. Welcome to Blackcaster.
Question.
Mm-hmm.
How badly do we stand out? As far as how we're dressed. Obviously, we're
Fire is
attracting
screaming.
attention.
What it does now? That's that sound.
Seagull's fire.
Not the other one. Like there is a storm.
That's the water.
Must be a big river.
You've never seen the ocean before, Fire?
Nope.
Imagine water. You look out, you see water, and that's all you see.
On the side of the lake.
You are still... Actually, make me a perception check.
All of us?
Anybody who's paying attention to the people around you. You are still definitely turning heads. There's a couple of women that walk by, and you see them kind of like raise a gloved hand to their mouth, and laugh a little bit as they walk by. You're not. It's not necessarily like a derisive laugh, but you do stand out.
Sort of the laughing at something they don't see every day, and
Yeah.
I don't know what else to do but laugh.
Yes.
Zoe speeds up and starts making a direction.
People here dress funny.
People here dress how they decide to dress.
Yeah, I'm not saying.
It's different.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's wrong. I like funny.
So you lead them on, Zoe?
Yep.
So, I have a question for you, Ty.
Yes?
Does your family live in like a traditional family home, or do they have a appointed residence?
An appointed residence.
What does that mean?
Oh. Can I talk to you in secret for a moment?
Sure.
5-minute break?
Yeah, let's take a 5-minute break.
For context for Quasta, what is an appointed residence? I know, no, not necessarily what time means, but like in general.
It means Zoe's family's so rich they don't have a house they bought. They have a house that is theirs.
Sort of. We'll get there.
Like
Downton Abbey or Buckingham Palace or Versailles.
It's not like this is a house that it's in the name of the father for saying something and then it's to be inherited and whatnot. It belongs to the so and so family.
It belongs to the Duke of York or.
Okay. Can I get some water while we're waiting?
Mm-hmm.
On a side note, for anyone who's still around, did quality of voice get lower when Jamie started to turn on the second bard?
I did notice he sounded a bit muffled.
Got too much processing going on.
Should I take away the second bard?
You sound fine now.
Okay.
It's just when you started it, the next thing you said was muffled.
While we're on break, pause the bar for the second bar for a second. I just want to see if there's a noticeable change right now.
Okay, the second bar is paused.
Talk and then turn it back on.
Talk to talk 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 to talk 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 talk.
No.
Why is Jamie a broken clock?
That last talk was a little weird, but
Okay.
Yeah.
It might just be when it kind of has to like rev itself up to get going.
Could also be that was just weird because your threshold just cut you off.
Too expensive to justify.
Like it's not bad. It's not unlistenable. It's not like you're all about.
like I said, it was just the first time after you started it.
I'm back.
I'm back.
Hi, David.
Is everybody
I-
back?
Hi, David. I'm Dad.
Like
Should we-
that, I'm Ty.
I will be back in a second.
Actually, I will too.
I think Ty said they were in a hotel this week.
Ty's usually in a hotel when Ty's back in the area.
I'm back.
Welcome back. You know, it's just is Ty going to grab a drink from the front seat, or is Ty going to the bathroom, or is Ty going to the bathroom in the gas station? Because those are 3 different time scales. Welcome back, Jamie. Ty said Ty had to go to the bathroom, or sorry, Ty said Ty would be right back. I should say.
I will complain, my weekly complaint that I want to quit my job.
Yeah.
But money.
Yep, I'm waiting any other thing. Any other thing.
I get it.
Going back to teaching.
No, not that any other thing. I actually got yesterday. They offered me teaching again. I was like, nope. I know I will teach that course someday in my life. It's meant for me, but not today.
Yeah.
What
No
do you
teaching
say
until you
to the
own a
man
boat
who
house.
offers you the teaching job?
Sorry, you both talked.
I did silly Game of Thrones reference. Go ahead, Cathanid.
I said not until you own a bow tie. And wireframe glasses.
Exactly.
Oh no, we're still waiting for Ty.
We are
Definitely.
waiting for Ty to do things.
Okay, back.
Welcome back, Ty.
Welcome back. Is Nibbles here?
Meow.
Weh.
Wah.
All right then. Then let us continue. So Zoe leads the group through the streets. They are very crowded. And they continue to stay crowded until you get to a residence that is, I guess you would say, downtown. That takes up like maybe a city block.
Big
There
ass house.
Oh yeah. When you look at this this place, you're like, oh, this must be like some important government building. Like it's huge, or maybe a library. There's 2 guards out front, standing by these columns that stand at the front of the building. You see that there's the symbol of Lathander above the door, a symbol that is as tall as the door.
This is the temple? Assuming I would know the temple if I've been to the city before.
Have you been to the city before?
I mean, I was a soldier on a ship.
Okay. You're pretty sure this isn't the temple. You're not quite sure what this building is. There are 2 guards standing up front. Which is new, Zoe.
I would say once we're close enough that I know that's where we're going, I would bend down to Zoe and ask if she wants me to announce her.
Hell no.
How are we getting in then?
So he walks up, holds out her hand, and shows her signet ring.
Do you show your face?
Hell no.
Okay. The guard that you show it to just has to like bend down a little bit to get a closer look. And then he kind of snaps to attention, goes to the door, and opens it.
So he walks in, expecting everyone to follow her.
Yeah, Rizwan has assumed like guard position at this point.
I'll just walk in.
Fire feels small.
I just gently prod Fire.
I think Pert takes the back, trying not to look like he's literally guarding the back.
Uh-huh. You all walk into a lavish foyer. Marble tiles on the floor. A staircase that goes up to a second floor with like lush velvet carpet. There is a young man with dark hair, dressed in like a butler's outfit, who looks at you in a bit of confusion as you all just walk in the door, having been let in by the guards, and says, "Oh, my apologies. Did you have an appointment?"
So he lowers her hood and is like, I would like to see my mother and father.
There you recognize this butler. He's been here a while. His name is Garrett. And there is just a couple of moments of shock on his face. Before he sort of composes himself. Right away, Miss Abigail.
What kind of shock? Like, oh my god, you're alive. Oh my god, you're here. Oh, it's you.
Make an insight check. He seems very surprised to see her.
I would like to look around for other people, particularly ones that might be of the stabby variety.
Make a perception check.
Can I do an insight on Rizwan's actions?
Sure.
Or is Chloe too much in her own thing right now?
I don't know, is she?
Up to you.
So he misses what Rizwan is doing.
Rizwan, you notice, as this man is leading you up the set of stairs, that from a door to the side, there's like a couple of maids that poke their head out and watch you go up. And then, like, immediately as they notice you watching them, they sort of duck back behind the door, like they're not supposed to be watching.
Rizwan keeps looking.
I just kind of give Zoe that flat stare and like, so? Can we stop being some of Fire's mushrooms?
What?
What?
kept in the
What?
dark and fed bullshit.
If I would say, hey,
Told you we were going to my house.
You could have elaborated.
but if you said that we're going to a house, why are we going to the library first?
Like I said, you could have elaborated.
Fire, this isn't a library. Well, there is one. She points in a direction. It's over there, but no, this is my home.
And the big ass symbol of another god on the front door.
Everybody has that symbol in this city. What have you been here before?
It is very common to see that symbol above the doors of people's houses. Not necessarily that big.
And the gold and platinum plating might be a little bit unnormal.
Yeah, this place screams money. This is like, you remember that house in Alcalara that you went and raided?
Mhm.
This is like if that was kept up.
Rizwan will
But
get
bigger.
Camille's attention, point at the walls, point at her ears, make the sound.
The butler leads you to a quite large sitting room. There are enough chairs and little couches for like 20 or 30 people maybe. And he stands to the side and lets everybody filter in and then gives a little bow and says, I will fetch your parents, Miss Abigail.
What was his name again?
Garrett.
Thank you, Garrett.
Hi,
Zoe takes
Garrett.
off her cloak, takes a seat, sits as prim and proper as possible, and is slightly vibrating.
Also, Abigail.
When one runs away, one does not use their own name.
Is Zoe sitting in a chair or on a sofa?
On a sofa at the edge of it.
Okay, so
Well,
Rizwan would stand like slightly behind and to the side of the open end.
I'm not sitting on the sofa because I'm probably heavy enough right now to break it.
Yeah, I don't feel comfortable putting myself in any of this stuff, so I will just lotus position beside Zoe in the floor.
Nellis totally gets on the sofa.
Yeah.
Very specifically, probably at like parade rest or maybe just straight up attention. I don't know which one.
I think Zoe is mixture of trying to look prim and proper and also trying to get Malice and Fire to switch spots.
This is having none of that.
I think Pert's probably studying whatever rare painting is on the wall.
Mm-hmm.
I think Fire will compromise and sit beside Smellas and start petting him.
After about a minute,
Of we all furiously shuffling around.
yeah. Zoe trying to like arrange everybody properly. You hear footsteps on the tile outside. It sounds like somebody running a little bit. And the door opens very quickly. And in runs a teenage girl, probably a little younger than Zoe, with short brown hair and like an Edwardian style dress. And she takes one look at the sofa and shouts, Abby! And runs over to you and gives you a big hug.
I think Zoe gives up everything all the prim and proper she was trying to put on, and bolts for her sister.
You meet in the middle in a big hug. And she just holds on to you and like tries not to cry.
So I has a question.
Mm-hmm.
Zoe's been gone for what, about a half a year now?
Yeah.
And Gwen is right at that age where half a year can be of quite a bit of a difference.
Yeah.
She's taller
She's
than her sister now.
she's the same height as you. Also, her hair is short, which is new.
Holds on to her sister tightly. Gwen, I missed you.
I missed you too. I'm so glad you're home.
Zoe doesn't respond to that.
Yeah.
Or I guess Abigail doesn't respond to that.
A few seconds later, you hear more footsteps outside. A little less rushed than Gwen's.
Zoe, hearing that, pulls her sister over to the couch and gets her to sit properly.
I think you probably get far enough to like pull her to the side and kind of smooth the wrinkles out of your dress and out of hers. Yeah.
Is there enough couches for everyone?
Oh yeah.
I think so. I think Jamie said
This is like this is the big sitting room.
Yeah, have you ever seen like Downton Abbey?
No.
There's chairs in like big formal sitting rooms. There's chairs and lounges and divans everywhere. Like you could probably have a couch to yourself.
Everybody sees in the door a middle-aged woman with her hair in a bun, wearing sort of a similar dress to her daughter's, but in a very dark green. And she just sort of freezes in the doorway at the sight of Zoe, and 2 steps behind her, there's a smartly dressed man with salt and pepper hair and a handsome face. And almost in unison, they both move forward to Zoe and just hug you.
I feel like Zoe was... So she didn't actually get to sit down? She was still standing when they entered?
Yeah.
She was trying to curtsy to them as they apparently enclosed her.
Yeah, they ignore the curtsy and just give you a hug.
Hugs must run in the family.
Apparently.
Oh, they don't.
Hey, do you think it's a local greeting? Maybe we should hug everyone here around.
No, I'm just keeping quiet.
After a few seconds, your mother pulls back and kind of smooths herself, straightens her posture, and kind of clears her throat. And at that, your father also lets you go and just kind of looks at you up and down.
Zoe is trying to hide the fact that she's crying.
It's good to have you home.
I'm not home, Father, but it's hard to explain. I just needed to see you all again.
When you say you're not home, Gwen starts to protest, and your mother kind of shushes her and says, "We can discuss this later. Would you like to introduce us to your friends?"
Hello.
Zoe goes around and does the prim and proper introductions the best she can. She will use titles, names, anything she has. Does Kamal have a title that Zoe knows?
He probably has a family house. I can't remember what I said to Jamie what it was.
Then she'd. This is Kamal. Kamal have a last name?
El Kushiel.
I cannot pronounce that. Of the house, whatever it is. And then we'll give a little description, like this man saved me from a very bad situation. And then go to Rizwin, introduce Rizwin. Does Rizwin have a title?
Probably guard captain.
Nah, she's just Rizwin.
Rizwin.
She's used 2 last names recently. I'll leave it up to you which one you use.
It wouldn't involve me knowing them, though.
Well, there's the old one and the new one that's a draconic word.
The old one.
Okay.
That's not for Zoe to provide to other people or to out. She protected me. She has had my back over these months, or she has been at my side to protect me, and will continue.
Is very much looking like a bodyguard right now.
And we'll continue through this, introducing Pert as a knowledgeable scholar instead of the rogue, which he is.
And Pert will gesture to the painting. Gwenmar or the student Duval?
Duval.
He's got the better strokes.
Yes, I quite like him myself.
Is it the mother or the father?
That's the mother.
Yeah,
I
that's
thought it was
the mother.
I thought it was, but it's better to ask than.
Yeah.
Don't have to introduce myself. Well, then introduce Fire second to last, so she can move on.
Wow.
Hello.
Yeah.
You know how to describe Fire to people who have this house, because I don't.
You could. I mean, I don't think it's a secret that he's a druid. You could just say he's a druid from the west who's traveled with you.
Do they have any reaction to what Fire is wearing?
I imagine you can tell me, Ty, you can tell me if you want me to say this, but Fire could say, "Hi, I provide mushrooms to your daughter."
I think
Fire is a great book. Moving on.
There is, like, your father is pretty good at keeping a neutral face. There's this weird look on your mother's face of, like, she kind of is looking down her nose at Fire, but also is very impressed by the fancy armor he has.
I think in the back of her head, clearly new money.
Yeah.
I mean, she's not wrong.
And then moves on to Amulet. No. I am so goddamn bad with names. Amulet. Yes, I didn't want to introduce the cat.
You could.
I mean instead of Amulet. And he is very connected with the spirits and our giant kitty. Yes, he's scary.
He's a good
But
boy.
he's a good kitty.
Well, you are quite an interesting bunch. He gives a little bit of a bow to you all and says, "My name is Nicholas von Adele. And this is my wife, Gabrielle, and our daughter, Guinevere."
Question: are these humans or tieflings?
All
or
humans.
other? Ah,
No horns. Rizwin and Kamal, you would know the name Von Adele. They are the heads of the city.
Ah.
Oh, sorry. What was the mother's name?
Gabrielle.
have we seen other tieflings in the city on this more passage?
I think we
Nope.
established that tieflings are incredibly rare.
Oh, I
Okay.
think Rizwin would do like the full whatever fancy ass bow, curtsy, salute thing is appropriate for this situation.
Mhm.
As a woman in armor, I don't think a curtsy is the proper
No,
response.
it would be a bow.
I would like everybody to just make me a group charisma check to see.
How well we do?
Yeah.
Wow, I rolled low.
Just raw charisma.
That seems appropriate.
Damn, Bert! Bringing up the group average.
His art knowledge saved us.
Yes. There is definitely, some of you are definitely uncultured.
And or grim.
Yes. And or unfashionable. Although Zoe has done her best in that department.
I feel like fire should get advantage.
I think I didn't get disadvantage.
Yeah. There is sort of this awkward moment where your parents just aren't sure what to aren't sure what to say. There's this, they seem a little bit awkward and a little bit unsure.
Zoe knows one solution for this problem. She goes over and hugs her sister.
Nicholas smiles. It's good to have you home. Will you all be staying long? I think he looks at Camille for this.
I believe that's yet to be determined. Although your daughter was very insistent that she should at least come home and check in.
And you will be staying with us, of course.
I think you have plenty of room, right?
Yes.
I think to Camille, when he says that has yet to be determined, Rizwin would reply, I believe that is up to her, indicating Zoe.
That's kind of what I was hinting at. It's like,
Yeah.
Rizwin's putting a slightly finer point on the matter.
If you have sort of nothing else to add,
I'm letting Zoe run this show. This is her family. This is her thing.
Sorry, it sounded like you were scrolling looking for something, Jamie. So
I was also scrolling looking for something. Your father says in a slightly louder voice, Avery, and a older man walks through the door immediately. Zoe, you would recognize this to be your father's chief steward. And he gives you a not very nice look.
Zoe manages not to glare him down.
Yikes.
Also,
Please.
sorry, I was just thinking, given Zoe's family is so well connected, would they have heard of the events of Gargamont and the families involved?
They might have.
Okay.
It's probably not something that they would bring up on first meet.
Fair enough.
Your father says, Avery, please escort these esteemed guests to their rooms. And while your friends are getting settled down, Abigail, it would be nice to have some family time.
Does Rizwan get anything off of the look that Avery
Yeah, okay.
gives to Zobagale?
Zobagale.
Zobagale. Just that he doesn't seem to like her very much.
Okay. Rizwan is physically between them as often as she can be. Like, she's not being pushy about it, but just, a barrier.
Yes, the steward gives a bit of a strained smile and says, "Right this way." And walks out the door and waits outside the door for the rest of you to follow.
I raise an eyebrow at Zabby.
Yep, please just pick one or the other.
Pert gives a nod to Zoe and her parents, each in turn, and then steps out of the room.
Wait, are we leaving now?
I just kind of push Fire gently in the back.
Okay.
Thank you for your hospitality, mother, father.
Well, it is the least we could do. They brought you back to us. And quite a eclectic bunch. I've never seen a creature like that before.
Is it bad my brain went Fire, not Melis?
Mine did too.
Same.
Does everybody else leave?
I do, yeah.
I assume yes.
Who's with the cushion?
You left. You took the cushion.
Or a decorative pillow?
There are some eyebrows raised, and the steward starts to open his mouth and then just stops. Lets you take the cushion.
I will make sure that comes back, mother.
You hear from outside. Hey, a cushion, neat.
As soon as the door closes, Zoe, you feel your father's arms around you again.
Sorry to interrupt. Rizwan would have tried to stay next to Zoe unless Zoe said no. Like, still being bodyguard.
I will be safe, Rizwan.
Okay. She looks like she doesn't like it, but she goes.
Mm-hmm.
Stuart, please put Rizwan in my room.
An eyebrow goes up. Of course, miss.
I didn't know if that was a dumb idea or not. That might have been bad. Whatever.
Your father hugs you again once the door closes.
I think Zoe just leans into it. I'm sorry I left the way I did, but I still don't think it was wrong.
He sighs. I'm just glad that you're home. He leads you to a couch. So, tell us everything.
I think she tells everything that it doesn't involve outing a dragon.
All right.
That's a lot at this point to tell.
Yeah,
I can put two and two together on a lot of things now.
I mean, it involves sharing stories about two goddesses, a creature that gave her magical powers.
Demons and undead.
How much do you say about sort of the events that happened before you joined the group?
I don't know if she goes into full details about that, but she does describe being taken prisoner in Camille, breaking her out, mixed with breaking herself out with Camille's distraction.
I just have a question just to clarify. Are you letting them know like what Camille is, for instance?
That he's a paladin?
Yes.
Was it a secret?
No. But I don't know. That depends on you putting two and two together on where he's from and what that means.
See, I don't know what that means, so
I guess Jamie can tell you.
Zoe would know enough. Like, given how rare paladins and or clerics are, like you get one per god if you're lucky, they tend to hold a lot of political power.
in that case, then Zoe would pass that on.
Would?
She would. She knows her father would be proud that she made such powerful friends or acquaintances. Which is odd because it's probably her mother that would be more proud.
Yes. So you recount your story of your adventures.
Is Gwen just like hanging on every one of Zoe's words, or possibly just hanging on Zoe?
Both, yeah. By the end of it, Gwen seems excited. She seems... Yeah, excited's the word, that you've gone and had an adventure. Your father seems like he's got a few more gray hairs.
From the last time she saw him, or from just the story itself?
Just the story itself. Just the story itself.
I think Zoe kind of makes a big deal about the fact that she brought somebody back from the dead.
Yeah.
Not like, look what I did, just the fact that it can be done. Maybe a little bragging.
Mm-hmm. Do you show them your magic?
I think she's about to, and then she remembers she has her gift. So she goes into her bag and pulls out the purple wand and gives it to Gwen.
Your mother seems ever so slightly alarmed. Do be careful with that. Gwen just holds it and, like, touches it to the sofa, and it turns purple.
Zoe looks right straight to her mother. It only lasts an hour.
Oh, is that all? You feel just a little poke on the side of your leg, and your dress is now a slightly brighter shade of purple.
Zoe does it back to Gwen.
She just giggles. You really can't do magic. What else can you do?
Zoe whispers to Gwen later.
Mm,
She just gives her a warm smile, like trying to imply we can have more fun with this later.
Your mother sits up a little straighter and says, well, you've certainly had an interesting 6 months. Now that you are home, what do you plan to do? Your father gives her a look like, well, of course she will be staying.
Does he say, like, gives her a look and then says that?
He gives his wife a look and then looks at Zoe like, right?
Father, I cannot stay. This family is too important. If I stay, we lose everything when the worst happens to you. Gwen is a much more suited person for that. People will actually respect and support her. We won't be the seventh family of seventh with her around.
Abigail.
You know I'm right.
He brushes your hair aside a little bit fondly.
And I am doing my own to support this family. We have an entire city that owes us a favor because we saved them. A member of our family saved them.
You cannot deny she hasn't been busy. Your father looks sad. You're
Zoe
too
thinks for a
young.
moment.
Too young to be doing this.
At my age, you were running the family already.
Yes, and I was too young to be doing it. You don't have to.
But I'm doing good. And people are happy with that. If I was here, well, you know how the city is.
Make a persuasion check. Are you happy?
Zoe sits for a moment, trying to think of how to answer that. I'm getting to see things, and I don't have to. She spends a moment. I'm trying to think of how to word this. I'm getting to see the world, and I have people actually excited to see me, and I don't hear whispers everywhere I go.
I'm excited to see you. You look over and Gwen is like almost in tears.
Which is why I came to see you, because I was told I should by this guy thing.
But you don't want to stay. You're just gonna go again.
Zoe.
Abby, I want you to go.
At a certain age, it's I have ways I can see you, Gwen, and I can come back. I promise I won't. It won't be as long. Another 6 months before you see me again. And I'm here now.
She crosses her arms over her chest. Promise?
Have I ever lied to you? Besides that time I told you that carrots are carrots are. Hi, I'm trying to think of something. A lie.
Yeah.
Carrots are the reason I can see in the dark.
Yes. And I made you eat so many carrots you turned purple for a week. Or orange for a week. I swear I did not do that. It was not magic.
She sniffs. Okay.
Are things quiet for a moment between everyone?
Yeah. Gwen's trying to compose herself.
Why are there guards outside?
You see your mother and father give each other a bit of a look. It's just an extra precaution. There has been some unrest in certain parts of the city.
What's happening?
Nothing you should be concerned with. That's all right, Abigail. We can take care of it. And he kisses your forehead. If you are to only be with us for a short time, then we should not think of such dour matters.
Remember, part of the reason I leave is because I think we are the best for this city. So I worry about this city.
Well, I'm glad to know that it still has a place in your heart.
And Zoe thinks that she's glad her parents never found the stories of her wanting to destroy the city for how it treated her as a child.
Yeah.
Zoe turns to look at her sister. How is the studying coming? Is Dad being a good teacher? Is Father being a good teacher?
Yeah, when he's around. Your mother goes, Guinevere, your father's very busy. He looks a little bit sheepish.
Well, clearly I will have to teach you everything he taught me.
Okay.
Oh, this was a silly thing for me to say.
She has a big grin on her face. And your mother says, perhaps the two of you could go get started right away? She looks fondly at Guinevere. Gwen seems really happy.
Well, lead the way. I clearly have forgotten over all these months.
And Gwen leads you to her room. While this is happening, the rest of you are led each to your own room, up another flight of stairs. They're all like queen size, 4-poster beds, 2 couches and a couple of chairs in each room, 1 room per person. It is a lot of space. It's a lot of fans.
I think Fires finds a spot in the floor without a rug or anything and just sits there.
Is he scared to touch anything?
I don't want to miss anything.
I think Pert spends the evening, unless something happens, sketching Zoe and her family in the large drawing room.
Yeah, I think the steward would inform you that dinner will be served in an hour.
Based on what I know of that steward, would also dictate what dress code would be.
Good luck.
Yes, he would. I am not an expert on Edwardian fashion, but he would sort of lay out the expectations of dress.
Rizwin goes over Zoe's room with a fine-tooth comb, specifically looking for: are the windows unlocked? Can they be opened from the outside? Are there secret passages? What ways are there in and out of the room, etc., etc.?
Make an investigation check. Ty, what does Rizwin find?
Good question.
So 4-poster bed, purple. Like a nightstand, not nightstand, like one of those stands with like makeup and a mirror and things like that. A writing desk, books. 13. I don't think you found her journal or her diary. You find a spot that looks like it's a secret passageway, but you can't figure it out. The windows, of course, are unlocked and probably open up onto like a veranda with a nice view out over the city and the water. Has somebody like cleaned her room, Jamie? Like,
oh yes,
would have taken any books she had from the library and things, brought them back?
yes.
Well, probably the better you found then. And depending where you look, probably some clothing.
Okay. She will note all of that and then literally go outside and stand guard at the door.
You stand guard for probably like an hour. You see a couple of maids go by. They give you as wide a berth as they can. You look pretty intimidating. They give you a little bow as they go by.
Just like staring at the wall across the hallway. I am a piece of furniture.
Mm-hmm. Zoe, you and Gwen barely get to her room before the call to dinner is made. Gwen seems a little disappointed. We'll talk later, okay?
I like your hair. Looks good.
Thanks. Mom hates it.
Of course she does. Remember when I had all that acne? She really got grumpy at me. You figured having the horns, I could skip the acne.
Well, I'm sure it'll be my turn soon. Yay.
Just means you're growing. Just means you're growing into a woman.
Yeah. We should get to dinner.
Think Mom wants me to change.
Yeah.
Dang it. You know how much this cost?
I'll help you. I'm sure we've got some of your old stuff. Actually, I think Gwen does have a few of your old dresses in her closet.
I assume they look like Gwen's and her mother's dress.
Mm-hmm. She helps you put it on. And it doesn't fit like it used to. It's kind of tight in the shoulders and in the arms.
No, I know.
As she's buttoning it up, Gwen says, "You got muscle?"
No.
Yeah, I think you did.
Well, it's tough riding a horse all day.
You look really good.
Thank you. Think Zoe's a little confused. This is not something she's used to.
Mm-hmm.
Especially the concept of having muscle compared to everyone else in the party.
Yeah.
I
And
mean,
like the yeah, but
Oh,
like we never really talk about this, but just with the wear and tear of battle and travel, like Zoe's constantly having to sort of repair her clothes a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And so you just sort of never noticed.
You probably got calluses on your fingers now.
Yeah.
Well, we've already established that. It's so she can play the viola,
The lute.
the lute. Yeah.
Oh yeah, like us traveling and fighting and all that. We're probably burning through easily 4,000 calories a day per person.
And I think it's a nice moment there to realize, because in the day to day you don't see it, but to realize coming back to your world.
Yeah.
I think Zoe tries to deflect and be like, if you want to see muscles, you should see wristband.
Oh, I can see.
Does my sister have a crush on my friend?
Make an insight check.
That was her asking.
Oh,
To be fair, whatever Rizwan is wearing does have sleeves right now. So
yeah.
And say the two fighters are probably just not like bare chested.
Yeah.
The guns and the tattoos are not on display.
Mm-hmm. She just looks pretty cool.
She is an awesome lady.
By this time, you have made it downstairs to dinner. I need a quick bathroom break.
Okay.
Pause for 2 minutes.
Beep.
Darwin and a 16th century knight walk into a bar.
Pretty much.
And a cat. A giant ass cat.
And like an 18th century city guard.
I mean, at least Darwin would look not so out of place with the 18th century city guard.
Well, he would. They'd be 100 and some odd years apart.
Yes, but that's still less than the primal era cat and the 16th century knight.
And a Merlin druid on his younger days.
That cheese, though, Ty. Oh my god, that cheese.
I don't love cheese that much.
No such
See.
thing as too little cheese.
See, as I said earlier, I'm not one for cheese, but dear God, I want to try that.
I would love the
Dude,
crusty part, the first one only.
I hate the crusty part.
Oh my god.
It all looks like magic.
try it all.
I'm sure it's too much cheese, but I would still try to eat it.
What
I'll
was that
definitely-
about the crusty part?
The thing I posted in Overwatch, the melty cheese stuff.
Oh.
Welcome back, Jamie.
Thank you. I'm just waiting for Ty to reply to a message.
That, yes, did not see.
Hmm. Okay. Ty, I need you to make an insight check.
So we can read our parents like a like a book.
And she knows how to read books.
One of her few friends growing up. I have found the good shrooms.
Dang, gimme.
Ooh.
Keep. God damn it, I'm buying chocolates tomorrow.
Ty message.
I'm thinking.
Okay.
Why are we all whispering?
Loud
Because
noises.
Because it's tactical.
Awkward
Over.
fart got love.
You know, I know the meme is with .wav when when I had to deal with audio recording. I always use MP3 for everything. I never use WAV.
so WAV files were something was common before MP3.
My days. Sorry.
It's also an easier because it's got less compression. It's easier for things to play.
I remember it was the coolest thing. A friend had a Windows 3.12 computer, and all of the Windows environmental sounds had been replaced with Star Wars stuff.
That does not exist. 3.1, 3.11 is for work groups.
It was 3.1 or 3.112 or something, because there was a 1 and a 2 after the point. Well, so I don't know whether it was a point 2 or what, but
Back into it?
yeah, back into it.
Sure.
Yeah,
Okay.
if you guys are
We're
done with
waiting.
it.
We're waiting for the secrets.
Oh, too bad. After leaving you alone, for a little bit, the steward comes back around and informs the rest of you that dinner will be in 5 minutes, and you are expected in the main dining hall.
He finds me in the same position.
Does he comment on our dress at all, or give up a?
Just kind of grits his teeth and smiles.
I give him the look of someone who he knows he cannot intimidate or badger or.
Mm-hmm.
Pert leaves everything in the room except for the sword.
Okay.
Fire comes by with everything that he hasn't unpacked. And when he says in 5 minutes and goes away, Fire immediately follows him. Like understanding the instruction as follow me.
So you follow him around to all of the other rooms of your friends as he knocks on the door and informs everybody else that dinner will be in 5 minutes.
And once he leaves, I give him a nod and like, come with me.
Do you need help finding the dining room?
Yes.
Ah. Well then,
Thank you.
this way, sir. He leads you to the dining room. You are the first person there.
I think I'll show up exactly on time.
Mm-hmm.
God damn it, I hate this only audio media in these moments because all session I've been doing faces like looking around, looking at the ceiling.
Yeah.
And I realize the guys cannot see me. Stop.
Sometimes it's about getting into character.
Yes.
I talk with my hands, so
I make a lot of facial expressions.
I think Rizwin puts on her dress this time and
Okay.
hangs around outside until Zoe shows up and asks her to like magic it into not being in a pack for the past 2 months, or well, I guess 1
Yeah.
month. 'Cause it's a
Zoe
little wrinkled.
or Abigail and Guinevere do come down the hallway towards you as you're just standing outside in a wrinkled dress.
Just this look on Rizen's face. Zoe, help.
do you try to ask subtly or do you openly ask in front of Gwen?
I think she would say something like, "Could I get some help with these wrinkles?"
Zoe leads Rizwin and her sister into her room. She takes a moment to look around, just like 6 months of not being there. Tries to shake herself out of it, and then starts to poke Rizwin. Can I get a picture of this? You have a picture for this, don't you?
It's
Yeah, do you remember the dress from Wonder Woman?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
That, but red.
You definitely get a raised eyebrow from Gwen at the sleeveless dress.
Yeah. And also there's at least one dagger hidden somewhere. Down the back or in the leg or something like that.
Not the big ass sword in the middle of the back?
Nah, not the big ass sword. Yep, that's the one.
You realize that now Fire and Rizwin match color wherever they go.
Yep.
I am the contrasting one.
Yes.
Anybody that looks carefully enough will notice that Fire's armor is the exact same color as Rizwin's hair.
I mean, Zoe walks around with an Edwardian dress. I think she's the contrasting one.
Lycas is just forward on fashion by 300 years.
Meanwhile, Rizwin's in the 20th century.
Yep.
I think my sister thinks you're awesome, Rizwin.
Abby!
She is awesome.
Awkward.
She's
Actually,
a
she
big
might
sis.
just say awkward.
Zoe's the big sister. She gets to tease.
As you walk to dinner, Gwen is like desperately trying to get her face to not be quite so red.
Ah, you see, you're matching our colors. I say to Gwen.
She goes even redder.
Zoe's putting her hand over her mouth, trying to hide her laugh.
Pert and Kamale show up right on time. I assume Ambulis is also there.
Yeah.
Where's Ambulis?
Yeah.
I'm assuming right beside Amalus.
Alice is always beside Alice.
The steward stops you before you go into the dining room. This is not a place for animals.
Melis is not an animal. Melis is Melis.
Be that as it may, he can wait in your room.
Do Ama look worried in any sort of fashion? Because fire is there.
I just think I just mutter under my breath, if you want the room destroyed. Out of anxiety.
Stuart, that animal, as you put it, is the savior of a city. It is good enough. That is clearly good enough for it to have dinner with us.
He looks back at you, Zoe, and there's a smile plastered on his face, but he is glaring daggers at you. Of course. Miss Abby. He wouldn't say Abby, he would say Miss Abigail.
Rizwin just kind of floats into eye shot behind Zoe and returns the look.
Stands around in full armor.
Not very effectively, apparently, though.
Yeah.
It's hard to be intimidating in a flowing dress. Full plate armor, on the other hand.
Mm-hmm.
Adjust sword belt. Shall we go inside?
He gets out of the door and lets you in. A couple of minutes later, Zoe's parents show up.
Rizwin at least will stand up when they enter the room.
Mm-hmm.
Fire waves. Hello.
Rizwin gives like the subtle like hand up, stand up gesture at fire.
I assume Gwen is sitting beside Rizwin, or beside Zoe.
Oh, yeah.
I think Zoe will try to get Rizwin to sit beside Gwen, and will also stand when her parents enter.
Your father takes the seat at the head of the table, your mother beside him. Zoe, you would be at the left hand of your father.
If you want advice on normal
Yes.
guardian seating position, father at the head of the table, wife at the other end, guests interspersed between family members.
Okay.
Conversation.
Okay. So father on the one side. I think Zoe or Abigail and Guinevere would be beside the father. Pert has been seated by at the other end of the table.
By the mother because of the artwork?
Yes.
Does Melas get his own chair?
That's pushing.
No, no.
Abigail already pushed her luck trying to get the cat in there.
I think Melis is probably under the table.
Melis is on the cushion that Melis stole.
Ah.
Wait, it was Melis that stole the cushion?
Yes.
I thought it was.
Alice is aware that they need proper seating at all times in a place like this.
I thought it was Sama.
I did too.
Now I imagine Melas with a cushion in his mouth, going everywhere, and whenever he wants to sit, he put it in the floor and sits in it. And then when he needs to go somewhere else, grabs it back to keep walking.
Yes. As your mother makes her way to the other side of the table, you see her like almost jump a little bit when she sees Melis, and oh, all right. Goes and sits down. And dinner is served. It is like 8 courses of fancy caviar and cheese and
Meats and pie.
yeah.
It is an affair.
So-
It's good food. It's like the kind of good food that like some of it's an acquired taste.
Yeah, like people more used to farm food. It's like, is this really food?
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't look like it. Doesn't smell like it.
So, Ty, just to check, is Rizwan seated on the other side of Guinevere from Zoe?
So is it like Gwen and Abby Kitty like sitting across each other close to the father?
No, it would be the father at the head of the table, and then Abby on his left-hand side, and then Gwen one down from you. So you're on the same side of the table.
Okay. Yeah, so we would try to get Rizwan to sit beside Gwen, but she wouldn't like you sit there. Like she's not if Rizwan resists, she's not going to try and push it.
Okay, I just want to, if Rizwan is not sitting directly next to Zoe, then she does not do the taste test food thing.
Also, I'm assuming like this is full on like footmen serving food, bringing chafing platters around.
Yep. There's like 5 different forks and 3 different spoons.
I guess it would be a little insulting to check for poison in your own home anyway. So.
Yeah, I think Zoe needs to go around and be like, dude, I'm not gonna get killed here.
Someone
If
doesn't
you're,
know.
I should here. Let me roll. Your mother just says we have people for that, dear.
I think Pert will be doing his best to be proper and will try to keep the mother's entertainment conversation flowing with occasional references to his teacher, his studies, his research, the teacher's writings.
Mm-hmm. Make a persuasion or charisma check.
Sure.
You do a pretty good job of talking. I think you probably spend a lot of time talking about art.
Yeah, trying to keep up at least some kind of positive condemnation to all of this going on.
Yeah. But you successfully managed to hold like 95% of her attention.
My charisma was just to make sure I was using the right forks, which I'm assuming, given where he's from, beating a 10 is fine.
Yeah, this is like, I think it's a bit of a brain workout. You haven't had to
do this in a while.
Fire is trying his best to be good behaved. And that definition for him is not burping or farting and not talking with the mouth full.
Or
Yes.
with your hands.
That's it.
Um,
The rest is
at
Wild
one point,
West.
there's one of the maids who's bringing out food. She kind of just very gently taps you on the shoulder and says, "That one." Points at a fork.
What, this one?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, sure. And I pass in like she is asking for it. Sure, no problem.
No. And she just backs up like you have the right fork in your hand now. Her job is done.
What? Fire keeps staring at the fork for a minute. And just keep using the same one that he's been using for the whole meal.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess we are having small talk when we.
Yeah, it's just small talk.
At some point, Fire asks, "So, what do you do for a living, Mr. N?"
I think most of us choke.
Uh-huh.
Fire, my father is the Premier? Primor. Dang it. I was looking it up, but there was too much silence.
Not the Primus.
The Primus or the Premier.
Which is a mistake I've been making lately. Thanks,
He
WoW.
runs the city.
Elaborate before I say something stupid.
I'll interject. Do you remember the head of the village, of your village?
Yeah.
Like that on a grander scale.
Oh, okay. Pleased to meet you, sir.
I take it you are not familiar with our city?
No. Like a month ago, I didn't know it existed.
He's from a small village. They don't do a lot of outside. They don't travel a lot outside their own area except to do trade. And most of that is outsiders coming in.
I see. Well, it must be quite a shock to you to experience a city such as this.
It's nice. It's got pretty colors. Awful smell though. Not here, but outside.
I assume you came through,
Yes, father, to the tanneries.
an
But you know-
unfortunate first impression.
But you know what? Accounting for first impression, this is better than the other big city I found.
Marielda, was it?
Yeah, awful city.
It has its charms, I suppose.
Well,
think
I'm allowed in it now.
I think Pert almost puts his knife through the plate, but keeps his cool, just barely.
Oh shit, sorry.
Rizwin mutters something under her breath about they have interesting choice in art. Marielda, that is.
Mm-hmm.
Mainland cities are unique.
Well, all cities have their unique charms. We get all sorts of foreign dignitaries. It's always interesting to get a little peek at other cultures.
Am I getting the side eye?
A little bit.
True enough.
parents are mostly just interested in making small talk. If there's anything you want to ask them, or Guinevere.
What is his demeanor like generally? Is he bemused, annoyed, like
Jovial.
yeah?
Both parents are very proper. Nicholas seems more warm than Gabrielle. You get the sense that they are both used to outsiders. And I think Rizwan and Camille would know that, like, the different noble families of the city sort of oversee different parts of the city. And the Von Ettels have traditionally overseen, like, foreign matters, foreign trade, and so they probably deal with a lot of people who don't have the same
Biases.
or, like, cultural practices.
I think
So he's not like gritting his teeth every time one of us does something
No.
slightly weird.
You are eccentric even for them. But you get the sense, like, especially Rizwan, who has interacted with some of the other noble families, that they are more forgiving than some of the other nobility probably would be.
Some of them would be sneering at us for our dress or making snide comments.
I think Pert would make an effort to get a temperature of the relationship between the two cities.
Pert would know there is a bit of a rivalry between Marielda and Blackcaster.
But not so harsh that the current situation in Marielda would result in them taking advantage of that. Would they actually help each other, or would that be ooh, cool, let's go conquer them? Sorry, not conquer them, but, expand our influence over things that they usually take care of.
I would say that things between the cities are not politically great right now.
Okay, then Pert won't bring up the need for some sort of outside assistance, because that kind of outside assistance is probably not going to be very friendly.
Yeah, maybe not. After dessert has been served and eaten, Nicholas stands up and says, I apologize, but I have another appointment I must keep. It has been lovely to see you all. Do you know how long you will be staying?
Looks at Zoe, heads turned to Zoe.
Also standing up when he stands up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A date has not been set yet, Father.
Well, you are welcome to stay as long as you like. There are carriages available for your use around the town.
I assume your guards won't put up much of a fuss if we come and go as necessary?
No, they have been informed that you will be staying with us. And also your horses have been transferred to their private stable.
Is that on the grounds, or?
Yes.
Did horse go politely?
Yeah,
He would have been told to, so he would have.
What's the term for somebody who takes care of horses?
Grooms.
Grooms, generally, yeah.
Okay.
A formal position, not just like an inn's stable boy. It'd be a groom.
Yeah. There was something else. There was another word I was thinking of, but I can't remember it. But their groom would have. He knows what he's doing.
A hostler.
Yes.
Or a farrier if they're like shoeing horses.
And Nicholas takes his leave.
Bye.
Abigail, Guinevere leans over to you and whispers, "He's been doing that a lot lately."
This is not normal for what Zoe knows of her father?
Most of his meetings, I mean, he does occasionally take, like, night meetings.
But not, like, constantly having...
Yeah.
Zoe takes a note of this.
Well, I'm sure you all are tired from your day of travel.
Yes, I think we should probably call it an early night. Some of us have some errands to run in the city tomorrow.
Did Fire just go to the queen?
Yes.
Oh, dear.
Gabrielle bids you all good night, and the servants escort you back upstairs and inform you, like, ring this bell if you need anything in the night. Zoe, what do you do?
Is Zoe getting dragged along by her sister?
No, actually, I think, because I assume Rizwan's, like, right there with Zoe.
Unless instructed otherwise.
Yeah. You get to your room, and she looks a little bit sheepish and says, I should probably let you sleep.
Is it just the three of us?
Yeah.
Whenever it becomes just the three of us, Rizwan would. Well, I don't know. I assume Zoe carries her book on her person at all times.
Yes.
Rizwan would like tap it and be like,
Yes, that was already my plan.
Okay.
Before we separate, Gwen, would you like to see some magic?
Yeah?
Zoe will lead her up to her room. Abigail will lead the group to Abigail's room.
The entire group? Or just...
No,
yeah,
the group of three.
You and Gwen and Rizwan. Okay.
And then pull out her odd little magical book.
Mm-hmm.
Open a page. Reach over to her desk, pull out a pen, realize it's completely dry.
Yeah.
Go to her bag, pull out another pen. Gwen, could you please sign your name?
Okay. She signs her name in the book.
So he takes the pen back and writes down in the book. Hi, this is your sister, Abigail.
He did it again.
Are you sure? Do you like hearing She's writing this.
Yeah.
My voice in your head?
Yeah. Can you do it if I, like, go outside?
I talked with my friend Vanya, and she's in Marielda.
Can you do it anywhere?
I believe so.
She like gives you like a leap hug. You're gonna talk to me every day, right?
Are you sure? I
Yes.
can get annoying, you know.
Every day.
Did you get my letter, by the way?
Yeah. Thank you.
I'm sorry I had to leave.
I'm sorry too.
But we're both going to do our best for this family, right?
Right.
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 Right. Tomorrow we're going flying. And with that, she pushes her out of the room.
What? All right. So you guys have the night. You can go find each other if you don't want to just spend it in your rooms.
I assume that there's like sitting chambers and whatnot between several rooms.
Oh yes.
I break something big.
Roll a D100.
Nice.
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 I don't know what it broke, but I just want to say roll a D100.
It's very nice.
A big vase in my room.
I was gonna say one of the four corners of the four-poster bed.
Sure. After investigating, I'm very happy that I managed to break nothing, and I leave some my stuff for a place that I think will not get everything else dirty.
Yeah.
I kind of jump a little bit too much to sit in the bed, and I break the frame.
If we were to go by sort of treasure value in challenge rating, that range would be probably about 70 golds worth of something.
Yeah, the bed.
Yeah, that bed's pretty expensive.
Oops.
You can still sleep in it. It's gonna creak a lot. I think
No,
like
no,
20
no, no.
seconds later, a maid rushes in. Is everything okay?
She finds me pulling the what do you call it?
Covers?
No, the big thing.
Drapes.
No, the foot. The
Mattress?
comfy part, the mattress. She finds me pulling the mattress, me pulling it is outside like mid room. No, don't worry about it. I think I broke something, so I prefer to sleep here, so I don't break anything else.
Oh, we can put you up in another room. That's totally fine.
No. I got used to this room. I like this room.
Floor.
Okay. Then we can have another bed sent in right away.
Nah, don't worry about it. I'll worry about it later.
Yes, sir.
Night.
Good night, sir.
Wait.
Yes.
Have a good room.
Thank you.
I feel like this is the equivalent of Fire handing her a mint.
Yes. And I say, eat it before midnight. Good night.
Good night.
I know it's not the same, but it's almost like he took the mint off the pillow and was just like, here you go.
All right.
Fire arranges a nest in the middle of the room.
As I was saying earlier, we'll work on that sketch of Zoe meeting her family in the drawing room.
Mm-hmm.
Probably stay up a couple hours too late, but he'll still get a decent sleep.
Yeah.
Say prayers, normal thing. Sleep still in armor because he's that kind of bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Zoe's gonna slowly make rounds to everyone, specifically Fire, to thank him for being on such good behavior and helping with today. Because, yeah, Zoe is aware that Fire is trying very, very hard.
You go into Fire's room and find the mattress on the floor. The bed frame is broken.
Can it be mended?
Probably.
I think
Zoe's
Fire is like, no, don't worry, I'll fix it tomorrow. Don't worry about it. My mistake. Don't worry.
So he ignores this and goes and uses the mend spell to put the bed back together. What are you talking about? The bed is fine. You didn't break anything. So you be comfortable.
Thank you.
Have a mint.
So that's how it feels like.
She'll do this with anyone, and we'll stop and have a conversation if anybody stops her or stops to do it.
Pert
Do you have-
probably. Sorry, go ahead.
You start talking first.
Pert probably asks whether or not her sister's eyes are this color of blue or that color of blue. You know, that kind of really stupid, minute detail, while he's still working on just the black and white sketching.
Gwen has mother's eyes. I have father's. Or at least I like to think I do.
Pert will give a nod. Your family has a lot of expectations. I know how hard it can be to deal with expectations.
My family does the best for the city. That includes me. The best I could do was leave. You were saying something, Camille?
I think if you visit him, he's like, any other secrets that I should know about?
No. I don't think.
It's a pretty big one.
Was captured and held prisoner. I didn't feel like it was the best time to share my entire backstory.
I'm just saying it would have been better to have not been caught off guard coming into the city, but I understand.
You Camille, my family's name got you an express visit with somebody who runs the city
Mm-hmm.
and the paladin.
I understand that.
Yeah, should have figured something was up.
I did. I was waiting for you to say something and doing the polite thing and not pressuring you.
And I was waiting for you to say something. By the way, that's why people were a little weirded out about you being there. You were representing the highest family of a rival city.
And
Also, you're in my home. You're safe here.
sure. I'm sure that's what many people thought in their own homes. Good night, Zoe. Sleep well.
Just because it's been brought up before, Zoe was not kidnapped out of her home.
No. Camille's entire family was killed in their home.
Yes. But just, that would have come up somewhere, but just, I don't know how to put it into words.
Just to confirm, you were kidnapped from the house?
No.
No, okay, you weren't. You ran away and then were kidnapped.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know if Amla has anything, but Zoe will pet Malice. Also will whisper, I will buy you a pillow.
Mela seems very content with this one.
I think you're buying the family a new pillow.
Mother will not be happy.
All right. So everybody goes to sleep in their own rooms. Except for, what does Rizwin do? Because there's only one bed in Zoe's room.
Yeah, I thought of that afterwards. It's like, should probably get Rizwin a room. What would Rizwin like to do?
Speaking as someone who's kind of an expert on nobility and as much a shit ton of stuff like that, there would be like day beds and long couches and
that's true.
Divans and all that stuff in your room.
That's true. There would be a day bed.
Zoe is trying to push Rizwin to the big bed so she can take, because she's tiny and can take the day bed.
I mean, day beds weren't small either.
Day beds I've seen were smaller.
Smaller.
I think that's a dexterity check. So Rizwin is like, okay. And then when they get right next to the bed, she just like flips Zoe into the bed and then goes somewhere else.
Just judo throws Zoe into the bed.
I mean, gently, not like, it's not violent or anything. Zoe just finds herself on the bed instead by accident.
Zoe glares, calls a maid to bring bedding. All the bedding for the day bed. She's getting the good sheets.
Are they all good sheets at this point?
Yeah.
No, there's the summer sheets, which are nice and soft and silky, and there's the winter sheets, which are nice and warm.
And there's the sheets for the country that you're an ally with, and the sheets for the country that you're at war with.
They don't stay here.
No. Yes, the beds are very soft, very luxurious. You all have a very nice sleep. What are your plans for the next day?
Embassy.
I think Pert's going to go to the embassy, but he's going to do some side adventure on his own. I'll talk to you about that later.
Mm-hmm.
I think Zoe will spend the day with her sister to avoid having a very grumpy sister. Unless that's an issue.
I think in the morning, Guinevere, when she sort of knows that some of you have plans to go out about the town, she asks if she might accompany you.
All right.
At least for the morning. Guinevere says that she would definitely like some alone time with her sister, but also she would like to get to know the people that her sister cares so much about.
Ama, do you have anything planned, or we go with the group?
I'm gonna have no idea what to do.
Yeah, me neither. Let's follow the small one.
All right. As you exit the house, there are a couple of carriages waiting for you.
I summon horse from the stables.
Guinevere looks at the carriages and looks at you and says, "We don't have to take them. We can walk."
I
Hey.
would prefer walking. That way we can, explore the city.
Okay, well, if Ramiel comes around the corner, it's like, in his head, it's all right, they want to walk. Go back.
Rizun would pipe up and say, I think it might be better if we use the carriages.
Zoe might be a little more comfortable in the carriage.
Guinevere looks at Melis.
We'd
What's
also be
the
far
difference?
more obvious in the carriages.
Is our carriages normal in the city, Jamie?
For the nobility, yes. Like, it is, to have carriages, it is a mark of money.
Which one does Rizwin think would be safer?
Looking at the carriages, there are little windows, but they're covered up with little curtains. It wouldn't be easy to see out of them. I bet you that would make Rizwin kind of nervous.
And if you ask Gamail, he would point out that people take note of who comes and goes from carriages.
That is true.
It's like, ooh, what's Lord so and so doing? Or what's the younger son of Lady blah 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 up to?
Okay, well, in that case, Rizun would find whatever guard nearby looks like they're in charge and ask for, I guess, 2 inconspicuous but tough people to be released into her command.
The guards look at Zoe. Actually, that's not true. They look at Guinevere. And Guinevere nods. And they turn back to Rizwin and says, "Of course, ma'am."
Zoe, by the way, is cloaked again.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Rizwin is back in her regular art clothes. Not the fancy battle dress or whatever.
So you go walking down the street, Guinevere leading, and she informs you that the embassy is actually very close to the harbor.
Which embassy? I'm confused. Which embassy? The Camel's one?
Yes.
Yep.
She inquires to the rest of the group if they have much familiarity with the ocean.
Not at all.
A little.
I just kind of look. Yes.
If you're going to that embassy, Gwen would know that you have familiarity with the.
Well, she has the group.
Yeah, it was more. I think it was more directed towards Fire and Emma.
Fair.
Jamie said the rest of the group, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
Sorry, I
My
missed that.
apologies. And she gets very excited to talk about the ocean, and she asks you what your home is like, Fire and Emma.
We talk along the way. Explain things, where we come from, big tree, grandma's pie, and so on and so forth.
I would like everybody to make me a perception check. Zoe has a bunch of fabric in front of her face.
Nice telling good story again.
Would you like me to roll perception for my 2 soldiers?
No.
Okay.
This
We mi-
is... Mhm.
We missing an ama. Thank.
Okay. So anybody who rolled above a 10, you notice a little ways down the road when you get more like towards the main area of the city. There's a small crowd of people gathered in a square around a tall fountain. Kurt and Rizwin, you take a couple seconds to look, and through the crowd you see 2 city guards moving the very still... the very still body of an old man onto a litter. They place a sheet of linen on top of him. Rizwin, as you're sort of walking a little bit closer, you hear somebody at the edge of the crowd say, "Bird shat his eye, tripped and hit his head in the fountain." That's what I heard anyway. Language! Sorry. Oh my goodness, how misfortunate. Yeah, misfortunate indeed.
I would like to scan the crowd, specifically looking for one face, whose name I am trying to locate. Ezra, I think?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Sure. Make a perception check and then make me a history check.
Okay. Ooh.
Oh, this is interesting. You scan the crowd. You don't see any faces you recognize. But something about what those people were saying strikes something in the back of your memory. The way they use the word misfortunate instead of unfortunate.
Reminds me, I assume, of Bashaba.
Yes. That is very much a sort of like an in-the-know speak of somebody has gotten on the wrong side of the Church of Fortune.
Is Bashaba's portfolio misfortune or just fortune?
Her, canonically, her portfolio is misfortune. But
Okay.
people in this city call it the Church of Fortune.
Okay.
So there is not also a Timora or similar?
Not here, anyways.
Okay.
Everybody in the city knows that Bashaba's, not good news. But they call themselves the Church of Fortune. So Charisma would very much get the sense that whoever this person was very much got on the wrong side of that organization, especially to die in such a public and undignified way.
Would Rizwin know, are the 2 guards that are with her also, is that the city guard or is that a private thing?
They would be city guard.
Okay.
The same
I will ask.
Mm-hmm.
I will ask one of them to go talk to their colleagues and get the juice.
He nods and leaves. A little while later, he comes back and says that nobody knows who this guy is. Just some random old man.
Not even a name or anything.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Guinevere leans back and says, "Is everything okay?" She doesn't seem to have noticed. She's too busy talking to Fire and Amalus.
Just keeping an eye out.
You're very protective.
It's my job.
Pert has a memory about there being a cleric to that god, although that's just a half thought. Nothing that he actually knows about.
I don't know.
Well, with the back of that in your mind, you head towards the embassy and towards the harbor. Rounding a corner, you see dozens of ships docked at the harbor, little tiny people in the distance milling about the docks, and behind them, just an endless stretch of blue.
Wow.
The docks are still quite far away from where you are. The embassy is not right there because, as was mentioned before, the docks don't smell the best.
Kamel, can we go there after?
If you're good.
Okay.
And one more perception check from the group.
Yep.
Fire's just looking at the ocean, isn't he?
Apparently.
Oh, this is perfect.
That's actually 8 higher.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Looking over at the harbor, you see, like, there's lots of different ships there, different colors and styles, but there's one that stands out amongst the rest. Instead of, like, the traditional 2 or 3 sails, this ship is long enough to have 6 huge square sails, like a Chinese junker, basically. And they catch your eye because they glint in the sunlight in an almost metallic fashion.
What kind of metal?
Platinum.
Rizwin looks nervous.
The ship body that you can just kind of see through some of the other ships is this, like, it's a platinum color painted in a scale pattern.
I look over at Roswin.
Zoe looks nervous.
What's composure? Con?
Performance.
Yeah.
Or deception.
Yeah, or deception.
They're the same, so. Oh, yeah.
And with everybody sort of looking back at Rizwin and Rizwin looking very, very nervous, I think that's what we're going to call it tonight.
Yep.
Wonderbar. You got my little request, right, Jimmy?
Yes. We will get there next week.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to know if I needed to message you so that you knew for next week or not.
Yeah, please do message me on Discord just to remind me, because I will forget.
Not a problem.
So...
We